Currently, there is a fierce struggle for survival all over the world, isn't there? Three countries are busy invading their neighbors. In the layer of heavy artillery, everyone is forced to leave their homes. The city streets become deserted. This is what happened. Naturally, the number of political migrants increases. Natural disasters, however, are a completely different issue. According to UNICEF Children's Fund data, in Africa alone, between 2016 and 2021, 43 million children were forced to leave their homes and move elsewhere. Sandstorms and droughts in Africa are cited as reasons for this. This is exactly why the number of environmental migrants increases. Now imagine, wars cannot be stopped. Natural disasters, on the other hand, cannot be prevented. Somewhere an earthquake, somewhere a volcanic eruption. The most powerful countries in the world are on the verge of pressing that red button that could destroy the entire planet. It could become completely uninhabitable. So what then? The number of both ecological and political migrants worldwide could reach 1 billion. So what then? Will humanity turn into space migrants searching for another planet in the cosmos? I didn't wear a spacesuit today for nothing. Today, we will talk about the planet Mars, which humanity is expected to conquer in the future, and moving there. Please like the video and leave a comment below. Today, you will see a short but mind-blowing show filled with facts. Let's go! Hello everyone, this is Abdullah John. Behind me is the Saturn V, a spacecraft that took humans to the moon. Many people do not believe in this event. Many consider the Americans' moon landing as one of the biggest conspiracies in human history. That is why many do not believe in this event. But there are other facts related to space that are hard to believe. This is the first photo of Mars. On the 14th of July, 1965, the spacecraft named Mariner 4 took the first ever photo of the planet Mars. The question is, how do you think this image appeared on Earth? It blows the mind. In numerical form. Yes, every mathematical number. It indicates a certain color. If you simply pass it through a decoder, you will know what color that number represents. However, scientists were so eager to see the first image of Mars that they didn't use a decoder to convert the numbers into a photo. They personally colored it themselves. So scientists drew and colored the first image of Mars themselves and were amazed by it, because until that day, scientists believed there was life on Mars. And they expected a lot from this picture, but there, nothing was visible except 15 million kilometers of desert. Just rocks, 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 and sand. At this point, a question arises in your mind. Why did scientists believe there was life on Mars? Now you know. While a group of scientists led by Giovanni Schiaparella was studying Mars, they discovered the presence of channels on the planet and believed there was a civilization there. This can certainly be believed because any civilization is built and emerges around such areas. Mariner 4, along with this famous photo, also sent data to Earth showing that the planet Mars is not suitable for habitation and that radiation there is strong. Nevertheless, scientists have studied Mars so deeply that it even has an online map now. You can easily view it too. Yeah, I will leave a video link on the site. The studies over half a century have further increased interest in the planet Mars, and currently the plan to move to Mars is indeed being considered. The main reason for this is of course interest, but secondly, we have just surpassed 8 billion. Humanity is experiencing a technological revolution. This in turn has greatly contributed to the development of medicine and the easing of human life. Exactly because conditions have improved, we have increased in number. Done. 8 billion people, more than 2,000 nations with various worldviews and beliefs. We are all actively engaged in destroying the earth without realizing it. Even a single plastic eye knows more about how long it can remain unchanged than I do in any case. This raises the question, is the earth strong enough to sustain a population of 8 billion? Especially with such serious climate changes, in the next half-century, Uzbekistan and all of Europe might suffer from drought. For this reason, humanity is currently considering moving to another planet and surviving there. If you think these ideas emerged only recently, you are mistaken. For example, Jules Verne proposed ideas about space travel in his book written in 1865. Based on this book, a film was also shot in 1992. If it's the Wichita University of Michigan planet, then it's definitely Mars. Scientists were conducting deep research on this planet. Billionaires were actively investing money in this work. At that moment, you want to ask those who have been to space one question. Isn't there anything interesting in this vast place other than Mars? There is. This asteroid, named Sikera, is very advanced. Whoever acquires it could become the richest person in the world, or perhaps in the entire galaxy. The asteroid, with a diameter of 100 kilometers, contains gold valued at $700 quintillion, and such objects. The galaxy contains countless regions. This asteroid is so rich in gold that if it is brought to Earth, there will be enough gold for everyone, but once it is opened on Earth, the value of gold will simply drop to zero because the gold on it amounts to $90 billion per person. The descent of things that are very necessary for Earth from space can simply destroy their value. As you can see, objects in space are very interesting, but delivering them to Earth does not always lead to good outcomes. I think scientists don't bring too many things from space to Earth. They probably study them. I mentioned one of the most interesting things in space. Now I'll explain why scientists are particularly interested in Mars. This planet is considered the next most intriguing place for astronomers after Earth. Mars is half the size of our Earth, dry, and its days are slightly longer. Though the day there is only 39 minutes longer than a day on Earth. This means you won't sleep for 15 hours there either. Be worse. 1 year on Mars is equivalent to 668 days on Earth. Interestingly, it also has seasons. In summer, the maximum temperature can reach up to plus 15 degrees. In winter, it gets extremely cold. The temperature at its poles can drop to minus 153 degrees. For comparison, I will say that the coldest weather on Earth was recorded in Antarctica. 2,070,000 years ago, the temperature at this point was minus 98. So you are literally living inside a freezer. But as a people who have experienced extreme cold, we won't struggle there. Just kidding. If not treated with care, unfortunately, the first people to go to Mars won't be able to return to Earth because many of them will be exposed to radiation. Radiation in space is the real invisible killer of astronauts. This invisible killer is so powerful that a radiated person not only cannot return to Earth, but also does not have time to return. During the flight, people are exposed to so much radiation that a person living on Earth would not receive that much radiation in their entire lifetime. So, what else awaits us on Mars? A place that makes you show a bear, a point on Mars that makes you show a smiley, and Olympus Mons. According to the data, it is the tallest mountain in the solar system. The most terrifying thing awaiting us is carbon dioxide, because Mars's atmosphere is composed of 95% carbon dioxide. After the atmosphere is this toxic, naturally, your closest friend will be your spacesuit. I think that's why scientists are currently unable to send people to Mars, but a cargo ship might be possible in the near future. How? Let me explain. For example, in 2019, the cost of launching 1 kilogram of payload into space with a rocket named Delta Forba was estimated at $178,000. In 2018, the cost of transporting 1 kilogram of payload with the Falcon Heavy spacecraft was approximately $1.50. But friends,
We have set our sights on Mars, so transporting 1 kilogram of cargo to Mars.
Now, how much will it be? This is Perseverance, a robot made to study the Mars crater. Its weight is a little over 1 ton. The cost to deliver it to Mars, attention, was $2.8 billion. If this cost is divided by 1,000, we can find out the cost of delivering 1 kilogram of cargo to Mars. This is $2,800,000. That's approximately 140 favorite gender cars. But we are not going to Mars with a kilogram of luggage. After all, the wardrobe and bed given by the bride's side, a world of never-used bedding, dishes only used when guests come, a television and so on, will be at least 2 tons of luggage. After transporting the 1-ton Perseverance to Mars, if it cost $2.8 billion, then a 2-ton load would approximately be $5.6 billion, and that's just for one family's load. And that's a joke. From this information, it can be inferred that currently allocating funds to move people to Mars is beyond the capability of an ordinary person. Then shall we go to the moon? Right? The moon is ours, and there is indeed the possibility to conduct research and create the necessary conditions for living there. The element helium-3 can provide an almost unlimited energy source.
This substance is very scarce on Earth. It is usually produced artificially. Why then on the moon it is very
A lot. The reason is the atmosphere surrounding us. Helium-3 would pass through this shell and naturally it wouldn't reach the Earth. On the moon, such a layer does not exist. Therefore, it directly descends from space without much difficulty and settles on the moon's surface. The energy obtained from helium-3 would last for 5,000 years on Earth, and it can be added that this element is also abundant on Jupiter and Saturn. However, conquering Saturn is a very difficult issue for people who have only recently set foot on the moon because we have not yet fully studied the moon. Not only the moon, but also the Earth itself. Although we have not succeeded organically, we have focused all our attention on the science of space exploration. Technologies have been developed. Medicine has advanced. People's lives have changed significantly from before. As a result of these factors, the population has increased. If development continues at this pace, there will definitely need to be space to accommodate these people. Nowadays, countries with developed economies consume so much. If all the countries on Earth had such an economy, the current resources would have already been depleted. For example, if every country on Earth had reached the economy of the United States, we would need 5 more Earths. If there were a possibility to live like Australians, we would need 4 more Earths. To live in Russia, 3.5, or if we wanted to live in Germany, 3 additional Earths would be needed. In fact, write down how many Earths would be needed for us to live like the population of Uzbekistan. Even though not a single soul has been taken to the red planet yet, is there a possibility to live on this planet or not? NASA is thinking about creating similar conditions on Earth and testing 4 people in it to determine this. According to it, people will face food shortages and technical malfunctions. Because this is space, anything can happen there. The reason for conducting such an experiment is to determine whether people are ready for the challenge of reaching the planet before conquering it. Approximately 10 years ago, Russian scientists attempted the same thing. In the Mars 500 experiment, Sat 6 people lived in a closed space for 520 days. Now NASA plans to conduct a similar experiment, this time testing people in a simulator made with a 3D printer. It all starts with simple physical exercises. Running, swimming, jumping, and covering 1 kilometer in 3.5 minutes. If they succeed, they move to the next stage and learn to navigate space and spacecraft for 2 years. For another 2 years, making a total of 4 years, they work as a team and further enhance their knowledge about space.
When we were young, there was a saying, you need to grow up, study at an institute, and become the owner of a chair. They used to say, and here are 5 years of space experience and knowledge. In the end, you will be the owner of the spacecraft resources. Another interesting aspect is that scientists heard that there should be humorous people in their groups going to space. According to them, such people help maintain the team atmosphere and boost morale. So, who do we have from Uzbekistan? Mirsha Karfayzulov. Overall, I really like the idea of going to Mars because 4 years ago, with the intention of joining the big-hearted ones to go there, we filled out an online application, but this company went bankrupt. As you can see, going to Mars seems to be getting more difficult. But believe me, we managed to fill the nest with waste before we even set foot at home. In 52 years, 18 devices manufactured on Earth have successfully landed on the planet being studied. If the photo on your screen is available, it shows the debris from the devices placed on Mars. 9 of the devices that successfully landed on Mars have already failed, and their total mass is 7,119 kilograms. We are starting to fill this planet with waste even before a human sets foot on it. For this reason, some scientists view humans as beings that live contrary to nature and as forces that disrupt order. According to their opinion, people who conquer another planet will bring it to the same state as Earth. Until sufficient order is established on Earth, simply abandoning the planet is a big mistake. After the Industrial Revolution, a lot of harmful smoke was released into the sky and continues to be released. A very large number of trees were cut down and continue to be cut down. It's not necessary to talk about the harm of plastic items. We cannot help but agree with their opinion because we are actively engaged in destroying the nature that is already there. The rise in temperature, drought, the rise in ocean levels, the extinction of animals due to hunting or natural disasters. Leaving everything in disarray without putting things back in their place is a true betrayal to the Earth. Through this show, I am against the ideas of conquering the universe. I am not open to them. We are simply living according to the saying that people follow the path of water that has flowed before. The Earth accommodates and sustains over 8 billion people, but we can say that we are only upsetting it. We relentlessly use it for our own purposes. Believe me, every single piece of waste falling to the Earth and every bomb dropped on the ground undoubtedly hurts our planet deeply. As a person who loves science, I secretly celebrate the idea of humans stepping on Mars someday, and perhaps the time will come when we conquer the entire universe. But one thing is certain, a person who does not appreciate their own home will not appreciate others either. Through this show, I encouraged you to simply remain human and preserve our planet Earth in our own home. I really hope that scientists would have the goal of preserving Earth alongside conquering Mars. If you liked the video, be sure to like it, repost it, and definitely leave your thoughts about today's topic. Through this small project, we try to provide you with vast information.
Until we meet in the next shows, Martyrs of Science.